Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Social Maggie Show. This is episode number 18, and I am very grateful when you show up every week to hear what I am going to give you every week. And this is the place where if you're a small business owner or you are an entrepreneur, you're starting up something, or you have a side hustle, then this is the place for you, because we are going to be talking about and you'll be learning about how to create content and that's going to get you more reach and engagement for your posts. So this is where you're going to find tips and you're going to find insights about how we can get into people's news feeds so we can connect with our audience and generate some sales. So this week we are going to be talking about visually branding our Facebook posts and our content. Okay, but before I get into talking about that, I just want to let you know that we are going to be talking about the visually branding your posts and your content. So it's also going to be about how you need to align your branding with your not just with your content, but also with your logo and any other marketing material that you do. So you get a consistent look no matter how you're showing up into the public, whether it's traditional marketing or it's on your Facebook page. So we want to just make sure that all the elements that go into your branding are going to be consistent across the board. So what we want to do is when somebody's on their Facebook and they're going through their newsfeed and they're scrolling, we want them to be able to easily recognize when it's your post. And so they go, oh, there's Maggie, and they stop and they want to say, what is she doing today, right? So that is sort of the purpose behind it and what we want to do. So we want to get people to stop the scroll, recognize that's a post from you. Now, not every post is going to be completely branded that way, but there are types of posts that we can create that are the same sort of type of post, a theme that we repeat week after week, and so we can brand those. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. So if you are new to this show, if you're new to me, I'm Maggie and I am a Facebook coach, course creator, trainer, and implementer. So if you've ever created a logo for yourself and not really know what you're doing, but you needed a logo, because sometimes when we are small businesses, when we're just starting out, if you're an entrepreneur and you're selling products and services, or you have a full-time job, or you're looking after your kids all day and you have a side hustle, and we don't necessarily have the funds that we can just go right away and hire a graphic designer to create some of these elements. So we often are wearing that hat too, and we're trying to figure out how we can create a logo. So that's part of your branding. And so oftentimes when we're doing that, but we don't really have much of an idea of what we're doing. So I'm just going to go through some points here today that will help you create some of that visual branding that you can move forward, so you can put some of that into your Facebook content and posts. Okay, so the first point that I want to make is that we want to know what your business or your brand's personality is, right? So what's your business philosophy, right? What is your, what do you do best, right? So what is it that, how do you that feel that you want other people when they see about your business? How do you want them to feel, right? So we're going to talk about a little bit about the color psychology that goes around that. So we also want to know, maybe make a list of some of the traits that might be attributed to your business. So something like you might want to, and you know, it could be a list of 10 things, it could be a list of 30 things, whatever, you know, you write down. But things like fun. Is your business fun? Do you want to come across as elegant or cool or accessible, unconventional? Maybe you want to come across as polished or cheerful, right? So those are just some ideas of what I'm talking about when I say traits. So make a list of that. Write down what your business is about. Like, just write it down as if you're talking to a friend and you're telling somebody about what your business is all about. But then bring out the traits so you can see what your philosophy is, see what your personality is. So then that brings us to the second point, which is define your colors. So there's a thing called color psychology, and we all know the big logos, the big brands, right? Like Coca-Cola, we know is red. Yellow Pages is yellow, right? Hallmark is purple. And we've got Starbucks who's green. And so we just know, like, and Facebook is blue, right? So we know that there is strategy behind choosing our branding, behind the colors and the fonts, and how we're going to use those to communicate what our business personality is, so it comes across and we can make it aligned across all of our marketing as well. So we want to be able to show, bring life to your business, right? Create that energy so people can pick up on that and have that feeling of what your business is. And then the point number 3 I have is define your fonts. So basically you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your traits and you're going to continue on. So now you've got your traits and you've picked some colors. So you want to pick your fonts, and you probably maybe want to have maybe about 3 fonts. And there's different types of fonts. That's like the text that you would write. So if you're creating a marketing material, or you're creating a post, something like in Canva, right? You can go into Canva, and inside Canva you can actually create your own brand kit. So once you know what your fonts are and your colors are, you can put it right in Canva, so it automatically comes up every time you go to create something. So you don't have to keep searching over and over for your colors and for your fonts. So that font, you want to have a serif font and a sans serif font, and probably something that's more decorative or handwritten, or a script, something like that. So you want to have a good font that's easily readable, and it's going to translate whether somebody sees it on your website, if they see it on a device, right, on a laptop, and in social media, in a blog. So you want to make sure that the font is always easily readable, even if you're picking the decorative font. So you're going to choose a font that's going to be for your headline, for your subheadlines, for your main text, and then something that's more decorative to add emphasis, to show also your personality with that. So those are all things that you need to consider. And when you have that down and you can start to create your Facebook content, then that leads us to my 4th point, which is creating templates for yourself. So once you have your colors down, then you can easily create a template. So let's say you have a weekly theme of something. Let's say you do Monday motivation and you want to give some inspiration every Monday. You could create a template that stays the same for every Monday motivation. So when you go back into Canva to create it, you already have your template. You don't have to start from scratch. You can just add in the other elements that you want, if it's a quote or whatever it is, an image, and you can just plop it in there. You can also plop your logo on there. If you have a transparent logo, you can take your logo and you can also put it onto somewhere on your post, onto that image in Canva, and create it sort of like a watermark. And so it's not really stand out a lot. It's small, but it's somewhere there. So in case you do create some amazing piece of content, somebody wants to use it, that's great. But if it's something that you want to make sure you recognize that it's you, or you give more, be more aware that it's your brand, then you might want to add your logo to it as well. So based on all those things, that's how you can take that visual branding and use it. So when people are going in their news feeds and they're scrolling and they see one of your posts, it's going to stand out to them, right? So that is what it is all about, being easily recognizable, identifiable, and it gives them that feeling of they know what your business is about. And so if you want to learn more, there's all kinds of stuff you can find about color psychology. It's very interesting. And so some of this stuff might be completely new to you, and some of you might be familiar with some of this. But when you do get to a point that you can hire somebody to create you a professional logo and get some expert advice on your colors and your logo, then that's great. But for right now, I understand, like, when we're starting out, when we're new to this, we don't have the funds, we're just building it. So these are some tips that can help you to understand how you can do that. And it doesn't take that long to do it. It's kind of a fun exercise as well. So that brings us to the end of today's show. And I didn't mention today's show, this episode is brought to you by my coaching program. So that's my Facebook marketing group coaching program, and it's called Magnify Your Engagement. So that coaching for October starts October 14th, but it closes tonight at midnight. So you'll want to look for the link up above. I'll put it in the text up above. Click on the link to learn more. Find out what you're going to walk away from. It's a 4-week program, and we meet once a week on Zoom, and it's a group, and you are going to take away all kinds of amazing stuff that you can put into creating your content to get more engagement. So look for the link above, click on it to learn more. And if you haven't joined my community Facebook group yet, please do so. I'll put the link up there again. So you'll have those two things that you can go and learn more about and see if you want to join my Facebook group. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's show. If you have, let me know below. If you have a logo that you've created or some sort of branding you already have, why don't you leave it for us to see? And or if not, then leave your favorite GIF or an emoji down below. Let me know that this has helped you. Leave me any questions. I will get back to you. And tag anybody if you have any friends that have small businesses or starting to create a business Facebook page. Let them know. Give them a tag, and then they can follow along each week as well. So that brings us really to the very end, and I hope that you have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Friday evening and have a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.